Hi everyone, it's Andy Zitzmann, founder of the GAMETIME Movement, where I'm on a mission to helping you and 1 million other people step up your game. In this short 3 to 5 minutes every day, I'm going to provide you with inspiration, motivation, and empowering information so that you can wake up, have a little pick-me-up, get fired up so that you step up on a daily basis. So get ready, because it's time, it's your time, it's game time. Hey, what's up everyone? It's Andy Zitzmann and welcome to today's show. Today, I'm going to help you overcome your imposter syndrome. That's right. How do you deal with the imposter syndrome? And for those of you that may not be familiar, imposter syndrome is that state we get into where we think we're not good enough, or where we compare ourselves to other great people or people we look up to and say, you know what? I can never do what they do. I'm not them. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. I don't have the skills. Whatever those things are. But the imposter syndrome, where we think we actually can't be what we truly can be. And usually what happens with imposter syndrome is we go and look at great people and we do what's called compare and despair. And I want you to remember that. Think of that for a second. When you compare, you despair. So compare and despair. That's essentially what imposter syndrome is. Or it's not having the confidence in ourselves so that, we believe that we can actually do something great with our lives, that we're actually capable of being great, that we have untapped, unlimited resources and possibilities inside of us. And we forget those things, and the imposter syndrome just kicks in. I'll tell you, when I first got into coaching and when I first wanted to launch my business online, I was struggling with imposter syndrome. I'd see some of the greats out there that I follow, Brendan Burchard, Frank Kern, even my business coach and what he's doing, Nick Unsworth. I'd see Susanna Evans. I'd see all the big names, Tony Robbins, you name it, all the people that I follow and that I'm learning from and that I'm trying to really just embody and do something similar to what they're doing. I'd look at what they're doing and I'd say, oh, I'm never going to get there, or I'm never going to be that great. How do they do it? Oh, it's and don't get me wrong. It's natural, right? Because the reality is this, imposter syndrome can be so powerful because what we're seeing when we look at someone else is we're seeing the end result. We're not seeing the journey. We're not seeing how they started. We're not seeing where they were 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago. We're seeing where they are today. And so it's okay. You're not there today. Maybe I'm not there today. We're not there today, but we're gonna get there. That's the thing. And so the thing that we got to remember is that, success and building a huge empire online or creating a coaching practice, a training program, being a consultant, this stuff doesn't just happen overnight. It's a marathon. And the reality is you are good enough. So one of the best ways to overcome imposter syndrome is just to remember a few key things. Number one, it's a great quote, and it says this: you don't got to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. And remind yourself that this is not a sprint. It's not a race. This is a marathon. Life is a marathon. Creating a new business is a marathon. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be struggles. There's going to be triumphs. There's going to be wins. There's going to be losses. But it's a marathon, and it's going to take some time. And whenever you go and look at someone else and you start to have that imposter syndrome kick in, where it brings in that self-doubt, or it brings in, the I'm not good enough, or it brings in the compare and despair, just flip it and just say and recognize, okay, imposter syndrome, thank you for coming. I feel you. I appreciate you trying to get me to doubt myself. I appreciate you trying to have me compare myself to someone that's much bigger, much more successful at this time, but I'm not going to do it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at that person that I'm comparing myself to and realize they are the trailblazer. They have allowed and created the path for me to do the exact same thing, and that they too struggled, but they had to start somewhere. And so I'm starting here, and I'm going to start here and work my way to there. And so you look at that person, you say, you know what? I'm not going to just compare myself to them. I'm actually going to learn from them. I'm going to model them. I'm going to do what they're doing. I'm going to take the best of their best stuff, and I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to try to use that to create my own unique brand, my own unique message, my own unique business. And so instead of allowing the imposter syndrome to have you compare and despair, have it allow you to compare and dare. Compare and dare to be great by following those that are doing great things, by modeling those that are doing great things, and use that as encouragement. Use that as, as your lesson, as your class, if you will, to learn the skills and the traits that you want to develop so that you too can unleash the champion inside of you, build that amazing online empire, and realize that the imposter syndrome is something that will hit you, but it's also something that you can leverage into something great. And so, in closing with the imposter syndrome, just take a moment and get present and remind yourself that you got to get started. You don't got to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. And remind yourself that it's a marathon, it's a journey, it's going to take some time. And last but not least, when you go in to compare, don't compare and despair. Compare and dare to be great by following those, learning from those, and using that as motivation, excitement, encouragement that you too can step into your greatness and be great. It's time. You know it's your time to overcome that imposter syndrome and to step into that unstoppable, unbelievable, great champion inside of you. It's game time. Hey, thanks for tuning in today, and thanks for stepping up your game. Here's what you can do to spread the movement. Go to GAMETIMEMovement.com and be sure to share your game time moment of the day, your GMOTD, so that others will feel compelled to share their game time moments too. And if you haven't already, subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher Radio, and please be so kind to leave a rating and review so that we can reach 1 million people and encourage them to step up their game too. This is Andy Zitzmann, reminding you it's your time, it's game time. Till next time.